what is going on? This is your Uncle Steve here, going through my top 10 songs of 2021. Now, one of the things that kind of bothers me about music these days is that songs just get played over and over and over and over. And I don't mind because it's a good song, but uh, take for instance, on the official charts, which are the Billboard charts, the number one song last year was Blinded Lights by The Weeknd. This year, the number three song of the year is Blinded Lights by The Weeknd, which means they have continuously played this song so much. And they go by streaming as well. So anything on YouTube or Vimeo or however you see your videos, it keeps getting played over and over and over and over again. So you get the same songs. Therefore, 2 years in a row, The Weeknd ends up in the top three for songs. Well, I have a little bit of freshness to me. And don't get me wrong, some of these songs came out very early in the year to where they seem like they probably came out last year. Matter of fact, I think one or two of them were released very late. But coming into 2021, they are definitely some of the songs that I look at as my top songs of 2021. Now, any songs that you hear on there, I do not own the rights to these songs. So if you happen to hear them in the background, don't come at me because I ain't trying to make money off of you. I just wanted to give people an idea of what we had going on. The number 10 song on the charts this year for me is from Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Now, we hadn't heard from these brothers in a long time, and they came back with a compilation called Jam and Lewis Volume 1. Now, when I first heard it, I thought, not I heard it, when I heard of it, I thought they were going to come out with something that was going to be kind of a retrospective of what they've done, all the stuff with Janet and maybe The Time and all of these things. But these were original songs that they've come up with for 2021. And one of the songs they came up with was a nice little gem they did with Morris Day and a little bit of vocals in the back from Jerome Benton, kind of old school time. Put you in the mind of that. Baby Love is the name of it. Really good song. And it ends up the year at number 10 for me on my top 10 songs of the year. The number 9 song I had this year comes from a young lady who has been really pretty much on the chart all over the place for the last, I don't know, 3 years. And that's Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish has won Record of the Year Grammy for 2 years running for Bad Guy and Everything I Want. This year she's nominated again for Happier Than Ever. Not sure she's going to win it, but this year she did come out late with Therefore I Am in late 2020. So it did kind of have a lot of airplay going into 2021. If you get a chance to listen to this album, it's actually pretty good. The young lady has an immense amount of talent, very good songwriter. Her brother Phineas does a lot of productions on her album. Very talented. Surprisingly, I don't even know why it's surprising. She has a very good voice. One of those very underrated voices that you sit back and you say, "Man, is that coming out of her?" But she is. She's a very good singer, and this album is good. Happier Than Ever. Billie Eilish with the number 9 song for me this year. Therefore I Am. What we're doing now is we're counting down the top 10 songs of 2021, according to your Uncle Steve. And this particular song that I'm going to play next is one of those that, I'm sorry, is one of those hooks that you just can't get out of your head. Soon as you heard it on the radio, you were like, man, that's kind of a nice little country song there. And I'm sure Applebee's picked up on some of the lyrics and made that one of its biggest commercials of the year. Walker Hayes is his name, and he came up with the song Fancy Like. And Fancy Like finishes in the top 10 for me at number 8 this year. I dare you to listen to that song more than 4 times and not get hooked to it. Even if you don't like country, I happen to like country a little bit. So uh, it is what it is. But Walker Hayes finishes at number 8 in your Uncle Steve's countdown this year of top top 10 songs of this year. The number 7 song this year from on my chart is by somebody who's not a stranger to um, not a stranger to my charts in the last few years. Tyler the Creator is probably one of the most innovative music guys going on right now. And he has matured quite a bit from 10 years ago. If you listen to some of his older stuff, musically, he has always been there. But, lyrically, one of those guys might have been a little harder to listen to a long time ago. But this last album, Call Me If You Get Lost, is probably, in my opinion, maybe his best album ever. And you'll be able to tell because it's another song of his that's in the top 10. But this one right here is a medley called Sweet. And I Thought You Wanted to Dance. Tyler the Creator, all over the place this year. Nominated for another Grammy for Best Rap Album. I don't know. It's going to be some tough sledding in the competition this year, but I think he has a legitimate shot to get that one. So Tyler the Creator, Sweet. I Thought You Could Dance. I thought you could dance. The number 6 song we have this year is a compilation between uh, two of the biggest R&B producers of the late 80s, 90s, and going into the 2000s. And that's Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, and Babyface. They got together on a nice little ballad um, on 2021 that is kind of put you in the mind if you like Whip Appeal from Babyface. Kind of put you in the mind of that. It's called He Don't Know Nothing About It from Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, and Babyface. Very nice song. I think if you give it a listen, uh, it kind of throw you back a little bit. I don't know if the young folks can get with it, but I can get with it, which is all that matters because it's my chart. So at number 6, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, and Babyface all together with um, He Don't Know Nothing About It at number 6. The number 5 song this year is some guys who got together and have pretty much stolen the spotlight in 2021. They had their first release, which we'll hear a little later on uh, this year, and set it on fire. This song they released the last few months, Smoking Out the Window, Silk Sonic, of course, that's Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. Uh, that the album is really good. I don't know if the album or EP is not that many songs on there, but nevertheless, just a great throwback to kind of I don't know. I'm somewhere between the 70s, 80s in that kind of feel. Bruno has always been able to touch that particular part, and Anderson .Paak just adds that little bit of credibility there to the music that really makes you go back to a throwback time for everyone. I This is my number 5 song this year. Smoking Out the Window. It is Silk Sonic. And we'll hear some more from Silk Sonic coming up here in a couple of songs. Every year, I always tend to get 1 or 2 songs that are kind of motivated from my kids and songs that they listen to. Um, this particular song happened to be one of them. This young lady was in one of the Disney uh, TV shows, High School Musical, the TV show, Olivia Rodrigo. And she came out with this beautiful song, kind of a teenage love song, kind of a teenage sad song, to be honest with you. You have to listen to the lyrics. I'll let you go through with it. But a very beautifully written song and a very adult voice singing it. Very good stuff. Her album is called Sour, and this young lady is up for Best New Artist in 2021, and I'm not sure anybody's going to have an opportunity to knock her off that perch. So Olivia Rodrigo with her huge #1 song this year called Driver's License. The rest of the album is actually pretty good too, especially if you have folks under the age of 18 in the house, young ladies more specifically. Kind of reminds you of if you want to say modern Taylor Swift, since she's in her 30s now. But very good stuff. Driver's License, Olivia Rodrigo. Now the album that this next song came off of, it's one of those that if you sleep on it, you're gonna miss a whole lot. Jon Batiste, who is the band leader for the Late Show with Stephen Colbert on CBS, already was a very talented guy. I used to seeing him doing this thing in the band, but this album called We Are, and if you keep up anything with the Grammys this year, it is the most decorated album this year. 11 nominations coming out, but forget the nominations. This is a musician's album. If you are jazz, R&B, pop, I mean, kind of almost a grassroots type of album. This album has everything for you. This just happened to be the single that the video was made off of, and actually is one of the top songs on the album. You're going to have a hard time choosing which one is your top song, but this is really one of the ones that just kind of stuck with me for most of the year. And this one is called Freedom from Jon Batiste. It is the #3 song of 2021 off of a very good album called We Are, which I think is going to make a lot of noise this February when it comes to the Grammys. And when it comes to the Grammys this year, I think it's going to be one of the top hits coming out. The #2 song this year, again, the only album that probably could have given Jon Batiste a little bit of competition for album of the year. This was Call Me If You Get Lost from Tyler, the Creator. This is a huge album here. We already heard one song, Sweet. I thought you could dance later. This one is called What's Your Name? Very good song by Tyler. Again, the maturity level of him and his music and his lyrics over the last few years makes him one of the artists to be reckoned with for the next few years. Just a really good song. Got played a lot on R&B, something you couldn't do with a lot of his music a long time ago, but he finally found his little niche in there, and this song was a huge one for him. What's Your Name by Tyler, the Creator. And that is the #2 song of the year, according to me. Now, before we play the #1 song, I don't think it takes a genius to figure out what the #1 song is this year. These guys, when they got together, I was surprised. Had no idea that these two would get together for a project. But boy, when this one came out, I just didn't know where to put it. It sounded like something half of what my dad used to listen to, and then a little bit of what I liked when I was growing up, and just songs that you kind of don't hear anymore. And it sounds like a remake, but it's not a remake. It's two guys that got together, really got in touch with the soul of their music. And I tell you what, they got together and put together a smash hit that I think you're going to hear a lot from in the Grammys this year. This one is Leave the Door Open from Silk Sonic. And that, again, Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. their styles it's so weird because it doesn't seem like their styles would mesh, but they came together and did some really good stuff. Skate was actually one of the top songs of the year as well. Didn't quite make the top 10, but nevertheless, these guys are all over the place this year. Look for them to have a huge day when the Grammys awards actually come out in early 2022. I think this is probably going to come away with Record of the Year, Song of the Year for these guys. Leave the Door Open, Silk Sonic. That's your Uncle Steve's #1 song of 2021. We'll be back again this time next year, 2022, to count down those top 10s then. Until then, we'll catch you then. Peace.